Good morning. This is round 2 of First Chapter Fun for today, Monday, April the 6th. Once again, Facebook apparently didn't like what I was doing or saying or whatever, and it booted me out in the middle of the recording. So here I am. I'm going to start over again, and this video hopefully will contain the entire reading of Liv Constantine's The Last Mrs. Parrish. I'm a bit flustered here, losing my papers and losing my patience with Facebook, frankly. So, if this is the first time you've joined First Chapter Fun, my name is Hannah Mary McKinnon, and this is where I read the first chapter of a new book, of a different book, not mine, but other authors, every day at 11:30 normally, unless Facebook throws me out, Eastern time. This is going on all the way until until early May. And after that, we'll see. We have some plans in the works, so we'll see what we do after that. So today I'm reading from The Last Mrs. Parrish. Here we are. This is The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. Now, did you know that Liv Constantine is not one person, but actually two? And they are sisters. That's right, Lynne and Valerie Constantine. So Lynne and Valerie equals Liv, which I thought was particularly genius. So let me tell you a little bit about them. So their debut thriller, The Last Mrs. Parrish, the one I will be reading from today, I will show that to you again. Here we go. This was a Reese Witherspoon book club selection, a People magazine book of the week, a Target book club selection, and is in development for TV. Their second book, The Last Time I Saw You, was published by HarperCollins in May 2019 and is in development for film. And The Wife Stalker, ta-da! That book is publishing on May 19th, 2020, so next month. Lynne and Valerie are national and international best-selling authors with books available in over 31 countries. Hi Judy, I've just realised you're watching. So pleased to see you again. So I shall now, without further ado, I will read you the blurb and chapter 1, and this is, of course, with permission of the publisher HarperCollins. So let me show you the cover again. Hello Michelle. There we go, The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine, and this is what it is about. Amber Patterson is fed up. She's tired of being a nobody, a plain, invisible woman who blends into the background. She deserves more, a life of money and power, like the one blonde-haired, blue-eyed goddess Daphne Parrish takes for granted. To everyone in the exclusive town of Bishop's Harbour, Connecticut, Daphne and her husband Jackson, the beautiful philanthropist and the confident real estate mogul, are a golden couple straight out of a fairy tale, blessed with two lovely young daughters. Amber's envy could eat her alive, if she didn't have a plan. Amber uses Daphne's compassion and caring to insinuate herself into the family's life, the first step in a meticulous scheme to undermine her. Before long, Amber is Daphne's closest confidant, travelling to Europe with the Parrish family and growing closer to Jackson. But a skeleton from her past may undermine everything that Amber has worked towards, and if it's discovered, her well-laid plan may fall to pieces. Tina, thank you for watching. Tina has just said this is an amazing book, a must-read. I agree, absolutely. So I will now read you chapter 1. So this is The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine, chapter 1. Amber Patterson was tired of being invisible. She'd been coming to this gym every day for 3 months, 3 long months of watching these women of leisure working at the only thing they cared about. They were so self-absorbed. She would have bet her last dollar that not one of them would recognise her on the street, even though she was 5 feet away from them every single day. She was a fixture to them, unimportant, not worthy of being noticed. But she didn't care. Not about any of them. There was one reason, and one reason alone, that she dragged herself here every day to this machine at the precise stroke of 8. She was sick to death of the routine, day after day, working her arse off, waiting for the moment to make her move. From the corner of her eye, she saw the signature gold Nikes step onto the machine next to her. Amber straightened her shoulders and pretended to be immersed in the magazine strategically placed on the rack of her own machine. She turned and gave the exquisite blonde woman a shy smile, which garnered a polite nod in her direction. Amber reached for her water bottle, deliberately moving her foot to the edge of the machine, and slipped, knocking the magazine to the floor, where it landed beneath the pedal of her neighbour's equipment. "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," she said, reddening. Before she could step off, the woman stopped her pedalling and retrieved it for her. Amber watched the woman's brow knit together. "You're reading Is magazine," the woman said, handing it back to her. "Yes, it's the Cystic Fibrosis Trust magazine. Comes out twice a year. Do you know it?" "I do, yes. Are you in the medical field?" the woman asked. Amber cast her eyes to the floor, then back at the woman. "No, I'm not. My younger sister had CF." She let the words sit in the space between them. "I'm sorry. That was rude of me. It's none of my business," the woman said, and stepped back onto the elliptical. Amber shook her head. "No, it's okay. Do you know someone with cystic fibrosis?" There was a pain in the woman's eyes as she stared back at Amber. "My sister. I lost her 20 years ago." "Oh, I'm so sorry. How old was she?" "Only 16. We were 2 years apart." Charlene was just 14. Slowing her pace, Amber wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. It took a lot of acting skills to cry about a sister who never existed. The 3 sisters she did have were alive and well, although she hadn't spoken to them for 2 years. The woman's machine ground to a halt. "Are you okay?" she asked. Amber sniffed and shrugged. "It's still so hard, even after all these years." The woman gave her a long look, as if trying to make a decision, then extended her hand. "I'm Daphne Parrish. What do you say we get out of here and have a nice chat over a cup of coffee?" "Are you sure? I don't want to interrupt your workout." Daphne nodded. "Yes, I'd really like to talk with you." Amber gave her what she hoped looked like a grateful smile and stepped down. "That sounds great." Taking her hand, she said, "I'm Amber Patterson. Pleasure to meet you." Later that evening, Amber lay in a bubble bath, sipping a glass of Merlot and staring at the photo in Entrepreneur magazine. Smiling, she put it down, closed her eyes, and rested her head on the edge of the tub. She was feeling very satisfied about how well things had gone that day. She'd been prepared for it to drag out even longer, but Daphne made it easy for her. After they dispensed with the small talk over coffee, they'd gotten down to the real reason she'd elicited Daphne's interest. "It's impossible for someone who hasn't experienced CF to understand," Daphne said, her blue eyes alive with passion. "Julie was never a burden to me, but in high school my friends were always pushing me to leave her behind, not let her tag along. They didn't understand that I never knew when she'd be hospitalised, or if she'd even make it out again. Every moment was precious." Amber leaned forward and did her best to look interested while she calculated the total worth of the diamonds on Daphne's ears, the tennis bracelet on her wrist, and the huge diamond on her tanned and perfectly manicured finger. She must have had at least 100 grand walking around on her size 4 body, and all she could do was whine about her sad childhood. Amber suppressed a yawn and gave Daphne a tight smile. "I know. I used to stay home from school to be with my sister so that my mum could go to work. She almost lost her job from taking so much time off. And the last thing we could afford was for her to lose our health insurance." She was pleased with how easily the lie came to her lips. "Oh, that's terrible," Daphne clucked. "That's another reason my foundation is so important to me. We provide financial assistance to families who aren't able to afford the care they need. It's been a big part of the mission of Julie's Smile for as long as I can remember." Amber feigned shock. "Julie's Smile is your foundation? It's the same Julie. I know all about Julie's smile. Been reading about all you do for years. I'm so in awe. Daphne nodded. I started it right after grad school. In fact, my husband was my first benefactor. Here, she'd smiled, perhaps a bit embarrassed. That's how we met. Aren't you preparing for a big fundraiser right now? As a matter of fact, we are. It's a few months away, but still lots to do. Say, oh, never mind. No, what? Amber pressed. Well, I was just going to see if maybe you'd like to help. It would be nice to have someone who understands. I'd love to help in any way, Amber interrupted. I don't make a lot of money, but I definitely have time to donate. What you're doing is so important. When I think of the difference it makes. She bit her lip and blinked back tears. Daphne smiled. Wonderful. She pulled out a card engraved with her name and address. Here you are. Committee is meeting at my house Thursday morning at 10. Can you make it? Amber had given her a wide smile, still trying to look as though the disease was first in her mind. I wouldn't miss it. That was the first chapter of The Last Mrs. Parrish. There we go, by Liv Constantine. Liv is Lynne and Valerie, sisters who write together, which blows my mind. That is so amazing. So this was today's book. I hope you enjoyed that first chapter. Tomorrow, no, that's not tomorrow's book. Tomorrow we have Kerry Lonsdale's Side Trip, and I'm equally excited about this one. I can't wait to introduce you to this one, which will be out in July. So as always, thank you very, very much for joining in First Chapter Fun live, including all the technical difficulties. And hopefully I will see you regularly here every day at 11:30 Eastern Time. So until tomorrow. Oh, Sherry just said, I love Liv Constantine's books. Yes, as do I. I think they're absolutely amazing. They are such a powerhouse. So hopefully I will see you all again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, stay kind, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.